Hello everyone. Today we're going to be learning about multi-view drawings and one common form of them, the one that is in front of us, super. Okay, with a multi-view sketch, you have an object that's three-dimensional we're expressing on paper. We've talked about projections in the past, and remember a projection, when you take something three-dimensional and you put it on a 2D surface, you lose a little bit of information. So the whole idea of a multi-view sketch is to have something that has a ton of specific information in it. So very minimal information is lost in that transition from 3 dimensions to 2 dimensions. And the way that we do that is by having multiple images together representing the same item instead of just one singular one. Okay, let's take a look here. So what we're doing is we've got this little part here that you guys are going to be able to draw in Autodesk Inventor soon enough. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to go through, and in your multi-view drawing or your multi-view sketch, you are going to want to make sure you have each of the views labeled. So let's go ahead and do that now. This one right here is our isometric view. Isometric view, remember, you start by drawing your corners, you go around, draw what you need to, or draw out the receding angles, sorry. And so it's just vertical lines and receding angles in an isometric drawing as long as what you have is rectangular. Okay, so the isometric drawing is right here. Now I'm going to change the color. Let's grab black, and we're going to go over each of these other views. So the view looking down right here, this view is the top view, which is what we're seeing. So we can see directly down into this kind of notch that's been cut. We see these raised edges. Notice, notice you see these lines and the kinks in the drawing, so to speak. So this is our top view, the black arrow. In red, this one right here is, we call that the front. Whoops, I'll do that right here. This is our front view. Okay. Front view. And then right here is our, it's sometimes called the side view. To be more specific though, I'm going to call this the right view. So in green we have our right view. You can see this notch perfectly, rectangularly, looking pretty great. So front view, oh, and look, you even can see, you can use a dashed line if there's something that's hollowed out behind that object in there. So dashed lines are used too. Okay, if this is the right view, then the other views that are not drawn would be the left view. This would be the opposite of front, would be the back view coming this way, and then the bottom view would be looking from underneath. So you can include, and sometimes you might include drawings of all of the views, but sometimes they're not always necessary. So here we go. Let's keep on carousing. But here's another object. I just want to make sure that people know you want your top view, front view, and your side view or your right view to be in this order on the multi-view sketch. Some people think you switch these around all over the place, but this is the orientation you typically want it in to be a multi-view sketch, so to speak. And again, they're allowing for minimal loss of information when projecting a 3D object onto a 2D surface. I would like to say really quickly, I forgot here. My brain's not working a little bit. That's okay. Happens to the best of us. Yeah, so these things right here that are telling us how the size of each of these measurements, these are called our dimensions. Okay, and we're going to learn more about those when we start drawing in 3D too. So those are our dimensions. Okay, great. That's basically it. That's what a multi-view sketch is. So now I want to show you your assignment. So what your assignment is you can take some blocks or Legos from your house, and you can make a little construction, and you're going to draw a multi-view sketch of that, and then you're going to send a picture of that item as well as your multi-view sketch, and you're going to attach that on Google Classroom. Now, when you're doing your multi-view sketch, make sure you have all of the viewpoints labeled. Remember, isometric, top, front, and right. So make sure you have all of those labeled while you're drawing. All right, super. So you can take Legos. I would recommend between 6 and 10 Legos. Make sure you use the big blocky ones, not the really flat ones, and make some sort of a construction. And then don't make it too terribly complicated, but complicated enough that it's interesting to draw isometrically. Okay, and you're gonna do a multi-view sketch on a piece of paper. So I'd recommend taking your piece of paper, dividing it evenly into 4 equally sized segments, and that's where you are going to draw. All right, so let's go ahead, and if you don't have blocks or you don't have Legos at home, you should have your laptop, and you're going to go to a website called Tinkercad. Now, on Tinkercad, you can log in. Please use your school Google account to create. I don't think you even need to create one. I think you can just log in using Google. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come into 3D Designs and press Create New Design. For today, we're just going to be using the block right here. Okay, so this red block, you don't need to worry about changing colors or anything. So what I want you to do is take 10 blocks, or 9 or 10 blocks, something along there. Maybe you can do like 8 if you want. And I want you to kind of stick them together and create an object that you can draw in a multi-view sketch. So you can drag these together, and to zoom in, you 2-finger slide on the trackpad. To rotate, you 2-finger click and drag to change the viewpoint. You can also use this view cube up here to change the viewpoint and rotate around. So that's pretty exciting. So you're going to keep doing this. Here's one I made earlier, so you don't have to watch. Actually, you know what? One more thing you got to know. If you want to stack these blocks up, you have to press this work plane option. This program is brand new to me. Press the work plane option, and then you'll see we're building on top of that other block there. So we can click and drag and drag in additional blocks to make our object look even cooler. And if you want, you can make the work plane even on the side here if you want to connect blocks like so. So there you go. So here's one that I made earlier. I've grouped them together by selecting all of them and pressing the group button. So what we are going to do is we are going to sketch this object isometrically. I want you guys to get a good look at it. So we're going to be looking at this isometric viewpoint, which is from this corner. We're going to be looking at the top viewpoint, which is right here. We'll be drawing the front viewpoint, which is right here, and we should see those lines and those seams, and the right viewpoint. And drag that out a little bit. So we've got that as a reference. Let's go ahead and get started. We can drag that over. And there we go. That looks pretty good. All right, let's draw our isometric viewpoint. I'm going to make this large and try and zoom in a smidge. Oh, I guess we won't be able to see the blocks. All right, there we go. We can enlarge it from right here, it looks like. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and start drawing. All right, our isometric view, I'm going to start with that front corner, just like I did with the blocks that I was drawing before. Start with that front corner. and that's going to come 2 blocks down. Now you're not going to draw the seams between the blocks. You guys are going to have seams on your blocks, so you want to try and skip those. What the heck? Computer is smoking hot right now. It's been cranking all day. Okay, so here we go, and then we're going to come over this way. It's 2 blocks wide, 2 blocks down, come up that way. So what I've just drawn is this face right here. Okay, I'm now going to come over 1 block wide and then 2 blocks wide on the top. So I've drawn that top line and this bottom line. This is 1 block up, so kind of halfway up. And then this is going to come back 1 block and back 1 block halfway, and then back another block this way, and then we should be matched up with our other line. Looks okay. Not great, but looks all right. Okay, so I've drawn this corner. I'm now going to start drawing that top section, and that's 1 block tall, over and down. Okay, great. And then that's 2 blocks back. And 2 blocks back this way, following that same angle. Okay, and 1 block back this way. There we go. Okay, and we're almost done. I'm going to clean up some of these lines. I don't need to put a line right here because there's no corner or seam. And then this is 2 blocks back like so. So we should see this is down low. So you're going to have a seam come down right here, and then that's going to connect all the way back. Oh boy. Let's try that again. Great. So there is our isometric viewpoint. You know, I could have done that a lot cleaner if I had a ruler or something and I was drawing on paper, but that is just fine. Okay. So there's my isometric viewpoint. Now I'm going to use that to draw my other viewpoints. The top viewpoint, I'm going to see this L shape, and then that L shape, and then I'll have a gap in the middle. So that's going to look like 2 down. There we go. 2 down, 2 over, and then there's my seam, and then 2 over. Oh, sorry, that's 1 over. And then 1 over, 1 up, 1 over. My seam, 1 over, 1 down, 1 over. I'm drawing this top shape there, and then we'll see that. We don't see a height difference. You can't tell which one's taller, but you do see that seam. Okay, and then the front is this direction. You're going to have a square, a 1 by 1 at the top left, protruding. And I'm going to use that as my starting point and my width comparison to come over 1, down 1, over 2, down 2, over 1, up 1, and then I think that's going to come down and all the way over. That's, again, this, okay? The right view will be, you'll see this square, and you'll see a square on top of that, and a square on top of that, or to the left of that, and that's what you'll see. So I'm going to start with that bottom square, 2 by 2. That is on the left side, so there's my other square, and then there's the one protruding out this way. So when you're looking at these, they don't necessarily make it seem like they make up this, but that is the isometric, the top, the front, and the right side of my 10-block creation. Get creative with your 10-block creations and do something weird. Make sure you're extending off in different areas and making it look pretty strange. That's basically it for this video. Another thing that you can do if you want to challenge somebody else is send them a picture of your multi-view sketch and see if they can build your creation in Tinkercad. Please post a picture of your multi-view drawing as well as a picture of what you created in Tinkercad on Google Classroom. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.